Alright, we're back again, and this time around we are going to adhere the pages, get the inside cover done, which I'm just going to use the same thing as this outer spine color, which is like a faux leather. I hope you can see that pretty good. I'm going to do that for the insides of the covers after I get the pages adhered in. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a minute and show you what to do with the pages that we already bound. If I can find them. What did I do with them? Oh, I set them right there. Okay, you need to have it adhesive on the whole back of the spine and the wings that are attached to it. Earlier on I was saying something about potentially putting the tape on those ahead of time, and you know, it's kind of one of those things. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing all at once. You don't necessarily want to do that, but it is an option. Now, if you're absolutely uncoordinated, probably a better option to do it ahead of time. You just gotta kind of find a spot for it to sit. Oh, the dryer stopped, yay! You gotta find a spot for it to sit that is remotely straight. And you can stand it up on itself like that if you want to. What I would say to do is get those fins out of your way. Put it all the way up to the edge on the back of the spine, and then bring them up to meet it, like that. That way you can always cut off the excess. If there's not enough, it's kind of hard to fit, you know, kind of hard to fit it in afterwards. So, yeah, you can just trim off the extra like that. Like that. And then it fits all the way across. That way there's all complete adhesion across the top and the bottom, and then the inside you can fill in whatever way works for you. So let's do that real fast. Okay. The way I usually do it is across the flap, which you can lay it down to do that if you want to, because this flap is kind of hanging in the breeze here. Doesn't really matter much. As long as you get good coverage, that's what matters. Push all this stuff down real quick. Now you can go boom, 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 or you can do it this way and go boom, 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 boom. Whichever works. That's my running theory. The whole point is literally just to make sure you have adhesive across the whole back of the thing. And again, if you have really big score tape, miracle tape, whatever one, they come in sheets. Literally, you can just lay this on top of it and just cut it out, which would be awesome, but I don't have that. One of these days I'll invest the $50 in the roll of it, or whatever it is. It's pretty expensive. I mean, for what it is, it's not, but it's out of my price range. Now I'm going to trim off the excess from this one. Like that. Make sure all of this is pressed down really good. And then I'm going to peel just what's on the back backing, center it on the spine of the cover, which is over here. And then I'm going to push these pull these up and peel the tape off of them, one at a time. It's so much easier to do it that way. I cannot even tell you, man. I have done some very weird things with these, trying to get that tape to go in the right direction, to get this lined up in the right direction, sticking my head all up in the way. Alright. And you gotta remember to take these off before you adhere everything down, or you're gonna have a big old mess on your hands. So, you've got your piece that goes across on both parts, and then the two backing strips that you need to remove. The two main backing strips, at any rate. Ugh, Lordy, does not pay to not have fingernails, I tell you. Oh, Jesus. I almost just stabbed myself with my pokey tool. Okay. And the bottom one. Now, like I said, you're going to center it top and bottom, left and right. Okay. I need to give this a little bit of a fold first so I can see where top and bottom are and where left and right is. Okay. Be really careful using the bone folder in the grooves because you will rip this paper. It is so thin. Okay. Just figured I should warn you. Now if you're using something really super thick, that'll be a little bit of a challenge of its own, but you just need to work it a little bit, that's all. But it'll work fine. Alright, so there's the bottom. See the extra chipped paint? The more chipped paint than the other. Make sure that's down. And then make sure that your pages are in the right direction. See the little tie things are on top. And then top to bottom leaves about 1/4 of an inch. Left to right. That's a whole other story. This is an unruly one, I warn you ahead of time. Slippery. Okay. Can't get it done. Can't get it where it needs to be. Alright, watch my head, I apologize. Put that straight. Okay. Then you're going to pull these and the backing off of one side, making sure the other side does not stick down, because you do have this whole piece across the bottom and top that's showing, exposed, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then you're going to gently just work it down, make sure that you're lined up where you're supposed to be, because this is not coming up if you're not. If it's wrong, it's kind of stuck that way. Unless it's really dramatic, I wouldn't worry about it. If it's, you know, like a hair this way or a hair that way, it happens, whatever. It's not going to hurt anything. Same thing here. And I already pulled the strip from underneath, from the cover. Okay, so they are adhered. They're not going anywhere. Now that you did that, you have to rework the original folds, the spine folds, gently with the bone folder, not ripping the paper. So what I usually do is give it a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a fold, a little bit of a nudge, until it goes where I want it to go. And once you get it to a certain point, it'll stick to that adhesive that was inside that crease, which is what you're aiming for. You want it to do that. Then you're going to go in between each page and burnish down your gussets so that the adhesive under those is all stuck down as good as it could possibly be. And again, being cautious not to rip the paper. No manhandling it. Okay, and the back side. And then adhere down the rest of the flap. Like that. Okay, give it a little fold, turn it around, do it again. And that'll give you a nice fold on the outside. You can squeeze it with your fingers if you want it to be a little more pronounced, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. And again, fold it that way if you want it to be a little more pronounced there. See, mine has a fold here and a fold here, so it's got a whole 1/4 of an inch of space on the edges. That makes it look kind of rounded, which is awesome. I like that. But, you know, you can also just push it forward if you don't like that. That's always an option. So there's the pages. Now we got to cut the pieces for the inside of the cover, which are, again, going to be this faux leathery looking stuff. Let me grab that. I guess I should measure these first, huh? Alright, they need to be 4 by 5 3/4 should do it. Let me write that down, because you know me. And I'll double check that before I adhere them down anyway, so that's okay. If it's wrong, you know. Measure twice, cut once, blah blah blah, thank you, Dad. Alright, and I'm going to see if I can get the 2 cover pieces out of the leftovers from the spine. Why waste paper, right? And I should be able to. My desk is warped, look at this. And it's not the cutter, it's the desk. There's apparently a warp in the middle of it. Alright, so 5 3/4. I'm going to cut it at 4 first, and then 5 3/4 here and here, and that'll, you'll see. Let's save some paper. So 4. By 5 3/4. It's not about how few cuts you make, it's about how efficient cuts you make, because you could save paper and do a lot more with a lot less. And then that's just going to go in there, like that. One in the front, and one in the back. Or this is the front and that's the back, whichever. Now, I need to decide if I'm going to use distress ink or any of that fun stuff, which I believe I should because of how rustic and grungy this looks. Usually I use vintage photo. I have an addiction to vintage photo. There's black. There's blue. There's sprayed burlap that got tainted with vintage photo. There's this peeled paint, which is green. I think I'll pass on that. I don't want it to look puce colored. Red, not so much. And I think I'll use walnut. I have never used walnut. Or almost never, I guess I should say. And my only other option would be peeled paint. And, ugh, no thank you. Puce green. Oh my lord, sorry. Just totally shook you guys. Nobody got dizzy off of that. Now, I was watching a video the other day, and I totally made these little itty-bitty distress tools out of a couple of wood pieces from Michael's and some Velcro, and this is one of the, the things for the distress stain. So, I'm going to see how good these things work. I don't remember whose video it was, but I was like, dude, that's awesome. It's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? So, it should be just fine. And I never used the handle on my distress tool, so I figured, well, this doesn't need a handle. Though there was, in the aisle where all the wood pieces came from, there was a piece that could have been used for a handle, and they're all just glued together, so. My sister said I gave her the remainder of the discs pieces and the little finial pieces, and she's like, how do you even hold on to that thing? I'm like, I don't know, I never hold on to the other one. When I use this type of tool, I always hold on to it like this anyway, so what's the difference, right? And again, like I said, there was a piece that could be used as a handle if you insist, or if she insists, I guess. Everybody uses their tools just a little different, I think. I think I need to order a re-inker for this puppy. We're getting a little dry here. You could also, if you were doing this, you could add more discs to give yourself more to grip onto, like 3 or 4. I guess it just depends on what you need. Like I said, I'm fine with this as is. And if I had the choice, I would get the round distressing tool sponges, I guess they are. That'd be much easier than cutting these down, that's for sure. The video I was watching where she made these, she actually glued them on. I change mine far too often for that. I don't like when they leave little schmutz bits all over the place. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? adhere these on, and then I think we're going to call it the end of this video. And there's no top and bottom on these, so you just put them in whatever way you want. Make sure you check for any little overhang, and that you have the top and the bottom of your book the way you want them, and stick it in. Center it from left to right, top to bottom, or make sure you have the same amount of space around the edge at any rate. In this case here, it's probably right about 1/8 of an inch, I would say. And just rub it down. That's all. And then do the other one. Okay, again, lining it up so you have the same amount of gap all the way around. Easy as that. And I did it back side, front side. Oh, excuse me, front side, back side. And there you go. Now I'm going to end up having to, I don't know if you can see it ripped right there when I tried to pull the paper back, because, you know, I was trying to tell you didn't need to do something, and of course it has to prove me wrong. But I did rip the paper, and then rather than try and glue it down, and I'm going to glue it down, but rather than try and ignore it and act like it didn't happen, I'm just going to put some decorative whatever on the front of this to cover it up. But I'm going to glue it down just so it's out of my way. At any rate, I'm going to leave you here. Our next video we are going to work on tags, and photo mats. Okie doke, we'll see you then.